Welcome back to Books with Duddy. Today we are talking about The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donlea. This will include spoilers as I'll be talking about the ending, what I thought about the characters more in depth, and just my thoughts as I was reading this book and in the end. So if you're interested in that, please watch on. If you're looking to avoid spoilers and are just looking for a review of the book as you're still trying to decide if you want to read it, check out the linked video. So yeah, I think the first thing I want to talk about in the spoiler section is kind of the big twists, right? Which there were kind of two. One being Caleb, being the person that was actually doing the abducting, the real abducting of these girls. And then Megan's dad being the predator. Potentially the only predator. We'll discuss that in a minute. But the Caleb twist I thought was super obvious. Maybe that wasn't even supposed to be a twist. But from the second Caleb got involved in the story, I thought it was pretty evident that, you know, he was the person that was at least involved somehow. I didn't know if he was the ultimate, end game, if you will, but I definitely felt like he was involved heavily. As far as Megan's dad went, I won't say that he was like a prime suspect for me necessarily, but at the same time, I had already ruled some people out. Now, looking back on that, I'm not sure if I'm just stupid, which is possible, or I actually should have ruled those people out. What I mean by that is now I can't remember his name. The man who, rescued Megan. Mr. Steinman, I think. He had all those, every time Megan would go over there, he had those weird noises that were going on in the house, and he would get really uncomfortable. And then there was I can't remember Olivia's boss name, but the head doctor where she worked. There's like this weird mention of his wife being a veterinarian, meaning she had access to ketamine, which obviously was used used on these girls that were abducted. And it was just like a really weird specific detail, and then it was just like nothing was mentioned about that again. And then there was Kent. I think his name was Kent, the cop friend, who, it was very weird. Like he had this, first we took his POV for a short chapter, and he said he was going up to like a mountain place or whatever, a lake, because he needed to get something that his family couldn't provide him. And then he walks in his cabin, and he said it's just like a weight off his shoulders immediately, which was weird. So, point being with all this, I ruled all those people out immediately. Steinman, the doctor, and Kent. So, when I was reading the book, like I said, I ruled those people out immediately. But looking back on it and I've read what a few other people had said. They had felt like all of those people were potentially involved, and maybe it wasn't just Megan's dad. Maybe the doctor was involved. Kent may have been involved as well, and Caleb wasn't just abducting these girls for one person. Maybe there was a whole ring of these guys. I never got that. I just think they were red herrings that just I didn't buy into at all. But that was, I felt, interesting that other people picked that up from that. So I'm definitely curious if you've read the book, what your thoughts were on that. But kind of then backing up, I want to talk about Megan and Nicole and Livia a little bit more. Because I really liked Megan, honestly, throughout the whole book, and it felt like the book was trying to get me to distrust her, but I really didn't. Her motivations always seemed pure, and it just felt like we were supposed to kind of be wondering if maybe they weren't. But again, that was just my opinion. But I really liked Megan. Olivia was my favorite character. You know, she was very grounded. Obviously, guilt about not picking up when Nicole called. You know, the night they vanished. But she was very smart. Yeah, I liked everything about Livia. Nothing necessarily like, oh, I've never seen a character like that in my life. But just a good character. Nicole was annoying. Obviously, she didn't deserve, you know, what happened to her and all that. It was terrible. But when I was reading her story, I'm like, oh, she is just an angsty teenager, you know, type of thing, which she was. You know, she's a teenager, you know, looking for attention and, you know, doing teenager things. So I thought she was a well written character. And to get to the ending, I mean, I thought the ending was the worst part of the book for me. I thought it was super abrupt, left a lot of questions unanswered, and I didn't think like excuse me, the ending hit kind of like it should have. I thought it was really stupid that he supposedly only got rid of Nicole like, I don't know, like a few days before Megan and Livia showed up. I mean, the dad had known they were looking into this disappearance, or the sheriff, you know, for a while, and then he just all of a sudden to, you know, get rid of her. Although we don't know for sure, I suppose, if she was dead, but I am under the assumption he got rid of her, or belief that, you know, she is dead, and he got rid of her, and he was the sole predator along with Caleb. But anyways, it's like, of course he just got rid of her a couple of days before. But okay, I feel like I've been rambling now a little bit. But I did enjoy the book. I would love to hear your thoughts. And did everybody kind of also think the same thing, where it was just, you know, kind of Megan's dad and Caleb? But if you've lasted this long, I appreciate it. I'll definitely be posting some more discussions and reviews, hopefully frequently. And if you did enjoy, I'd appreciate if you can like and subscribe. And I will see you soon.